Hello and welcome back to Queen's Wish 2. We are here in Laskara and we are going to try to finish the quest, the permission to travel and a general cost petition. I'm not sure what that is. But first we will further explore this little, library thing. From the Eruda something. So let's talk to Erud Skiaris. There's a young scholar standing at this table, poking at an old, crumbling text. He seems calm at first, then you see the slight tremble of his hands. He says in a very soft voice, I am Erud Skiaris, I only need a moment. I like to know about the Erudico. That's what the name was. My request... Granted, in time, you'll learn what you need to learn. What is in that book? I am not sure. It was here when I got here. What did you want to say? The Erudico needs to talk to an outsider. It is hard to say. I have a message. Very mysterious. And the message is? Erud Falis, the Tower of Erudico, the heart of our order. To know one's enemies is to know oneself. Very profound, I guess. No, that is what you are to say to him. To let him know, I talk to you. Sorry, I'm very new at all this. Also, I don't want to be killed. Killed by whom? The best killers of the row. I am so exposed out here. So it is a passphrase? Yes. To know one's enemies is to know oneself. I saw you arrive. I know you are the one to choose. Say the phrase to Faalis, and he'll know too. This is all very odd. If I get the chance, I'll talk to Faalis. Thank you. It will be worth your time. Good for Haven too. That is all I have to say. I will be gone soon. Alive, I hope. Please go. He turns away from you and keeps poking at the book. Interesting. We have a new quest. Knowledge of the row. I took the books and scrolls. No, that's not it. Not sure where that is. Workshop in City of Laskara leader, crafter, Homais. No. Governor, petition. Permission to travel. Knowledge of the row. I mean, that has to be it. No. The harvester. There's a struggle going on in the Rokai. The secret of a powerful magical weapon has to be discovered, and multiple forces are competing to control it. This is exactly the sort of thing Heaven needs to know about, especially in time of rebellion. Erud Skiaris in Laskara set you on the path. We didn't know anything about a weapon, though. He sent you to Erud Falis in the Tower of the Erudico. The passphrase is to know one's enemies, to know oneself. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at this thing. The Erudico. The Erudico are the highest defenders of the row principle of knowing. If every row's mind is a mountain, the Erudico live at its base and never depart. They seek only to improve the science and knowledge of the Rokaj. The row have a long history of study and scientific advancement, and the intensity of their learning ebbs and flows. When the Rokaj is occupied by a foreign land, there is less learning. When they are free, study and research begins anew. After 2 centuries of being a vassal of State of Haven, the Erudico are but a fated sect. Most of the new knowledge of the row enters through the ports of the Gentle Coast. Most of them are holed up in the Tower of the Erudico, in the heart of the Rokaj, where they tinker and dream of past glories. The Erudico are themselves, as much as possible, from the burdens of life and belief. What? Free themselves, okay. They create and invent, then they leave it to the other row to adapt their creations to the world and row beliefs. The mental and emotional detachment of the Erudico can seem very strange. Yeah, indeed. And this is the tower where we need to go. Alright, what's in here? Nothing. You should be there. Let's quit this one then. And continue exploring this town. Oh, okay. The day is gone and over, and we got some resources. The Gentle Coast Fund might regenerate, yeah. Losses from theft. Theft amount 10%. Final resources income from Gentle Coast. You have no earnings from Cronus Woods lands yet. Reclaim one of your forts there to begin collecting resources. Okay. Yeah, we have nothing. Alright. Current resource income. Current resource being used. No deficits. All your shops are supported. A new day dawns. Day 3. And we should probably... I mean, we need to go back anyways for these ruins, but we should probably just build something to get to use some of the resources, because they are just vanishing. You saw that there is like 10% theft or something, and of course we need to keep that at a minimum. The Drunken Dagon. Every proper city in your empire has an inn. Havens, soldiers, merchants and officials constantly roam your cells, and they need safe places to eat and sleep. Somewhere in the smoky hall you are sure to find a bed you can use to rest. We don't want to do that, but he looks kind of green. Trader Umista. There's a wiry, angry man with bronze skin standing in the middle of the inn. He's drunk and shouting. The other patrons or locals are doing their best to ignore him. The Gentle Coast is full of weaklings, he shouts. Useless weapons and no spines, always licking the shoes of Haven. He continues his ranting. At one point he says, I am Mumistra, a proud stonecutter of the Low Dagger, and I won't bow to anyone, Haven or Row. Then he notices you. Listen quietly. He looks you boldly in the eye, and then he grins. Much of the relief of the other patrons, he walks to a chair and sits opposite you. Have a seat, Haven. Drink some nice, thick, fermented milk. Enjoy the row until you abandon us again. You seem pretty angry. The Low Dagger is an angry place. The rock and the winds bring it out of us. Some of us even become raiders, roaming the Gentle Coast and making big mistakes. Not me. I shouldn't be angry now, but these folk, their useless arms and armor, it brings the shouting out. What do you think of the Gentle Coast? They're rich and weak, with their quivering men and their domineering women. They do our trading for us, but they take too much money and they think they're better. Come to the Highlands, Haven. Come see the real Row. Useless arms and armor? What do you think of Haven? Well, you're bigger, stronger, so you get to control us for now. But us, Row, we know how to watch. We know how to wait. Why do you speak so freely to me? I've never been much for the traditions. I'm too loud for a gentle knowing, too much of a drinker for working, too honest for deep truth. That's why I'm a trader. The Low Dagger has to be rid of me sometimes to be able to stand me. Honest people die in the Rokaj. I have another question. Okay. Mrs. Outburst has tired him out. He sits contented at one of the long tables. He doesn't mind your company despite his ranting. Useless arms and armor? Look at them. They know they aren't Row anymore. They know the spirit of the Rokaj doesn't live in them, so they spend too much money on blades they never use, on armor that wouldn't even block a good punch. They're even led by a woman. Granted, I hear she learned magic from the Erudico. I have to respect that, but still. And what is your problem? Raiders. The fools came out of the hills. Some of them attacked you. The rest stole from the weaklings of the Gentle Coast. And some of them they took from my clan. They took our claim. Now we need to find warriors who want stone. I'm interested in your stone. Well, we have a claim. A quarry. Some of the raiders saw it was weak and grabbed it from us. I'm looking to pay someone to take it back. Looking for stone to remake your profits, Prince. We can provide it. Where is your quarry? It's in the Gentle Coast, to the northeast, across 2 rivers. Some of my clanmates are there. They can explain what is happening. What is the exact problem there? Well, there are raiders and K-wolves, and that's what they wrote me. But it was a quick message, and they were leaving a lot out, and I can tell you more. Then you can kill the invaders. That part at least should be simple. Have another question. What brings you to town? I'm a merchant and a trader. I bring loads of fine stone and the builders to properly use it. Building and stone are the business of the low Daga, and it needs people like me to sell their work. Okay. So we have a new quest now. Dagan claim. So we can check that on the map. Ah, okay, that's on our way. Okay. Sip. Ajaja. We trade quicksilver. There's a middle-aged woman sitting alone in the side room of the inn. She slowly eats stew and sips steaming, herbal-smelling liquid from a pewter mug. When you enter, she looks you up and down, coldly analyzing you. Then she motions for you to join her. I am Ajaja. I am from High Letha. I would speak with you. It may profit us both. Tell me about the High Letha. It is the highest province in the Rokaj. We live in the icy rocky peaks. You wait for more, you get a lot of silence in return. You note that her garb is thick and warm, but ragged and stained. You suspect that her tunic has been passed down from generation to generation. That is not a lot of detail. We are high, and we see much. We keep the old ways of the Rokaj. When we start to go astray, the ghosts correct us. Sometimes we are asked to provide judgment. Judgment? What do you think of the Gentle Coast? She looks through the arc at the wealthy coast folk, sipping imported wine, comparing their stylish weapons and armor, and generally laughing and having a good time. She shrugs. We have not been asked to judge them, so we don't. Ghosts? Yes. What do you think of Haven? You are the reality. We must bend ourselves around you. Another question. Jaja eats a stew and sips a liquid. You think it has some alcohol in it. Her eyes slowly unfocus as she drinks more of it. Not that it makes her any friendlier. I need to meet the Raza of the High Letha. Then you should go to the High Letha. Tell me about the High Letha. It is the highest province in the Rokaj. We live in the icy rocky peaks. You wait for more, you get to... Okay, we had that. Why are you in Laskara? I come to trade. The High Letha produces quicksilver. That which we don't use ourselves, we trade here. How do you get quicksilver? We dig the cinema out of the stone. The high mountains is where it is found. Then it is cooked to get the quicksilver. A little of the cooking takes place high up. Most happens in our claims in the Gentle Coast. The fuel we need is here. What do you use quicksilver for? It can be made into potions. Drinking the potions can bring clarity. See the world in a new way. Talk to the shades that guide us. Well, I think it messes up your brain in the well in reality, but also in Queen's Wish 1. I could use some quicksilver. Yes, Haven needs it. Much of the Rose's new wealth comes from the rocks dug up by the humble folk of the High Letha. I can give you the quicksilver you need if you help us. My clan has a claim in the Gentle Coast. There the quicksilver is brought from the rocks. The claim has ghosts. They keep us from working. Free our claim and you will be paid. Where is this workshop? Northeast of here, up against the wall of mountains. Cross one river. The claim has ghosts? What should I do about them? There are High Lethans there. They can tell you more. Based on your experience with Ajaja, talking to them should be an absolute treat. Yeah. That's all for now. Thanks. And we've got a new quest. The Letha claim. Alright. And my guess is we will find a third guy who gives us another quest. Over there maybe? No, this is just the kitchen. Laskaran. Maybe on the other floor. Laskaran. Oh, I have a chest here. But this is not yours, so we are not going to take that. Laskara, no, okay. No, third guy. Okay, let's go into this building. Laskara. Fine fur, we can take that one. Okay. Worker, guards. You look around the docks of Laskara. By the standards of the rest of Haven, this is a small and outdated facility for the Rokaj. This is their main portal to the outside world and the source of their wealth. The road does produce goods of some value. Quicksilver, fine wood, precious amber, gemstones. They leave through here in return for the crafts and knowledge in the rest of Haven. How much of that wealth manages to make it into the mountains to the north remains to be seen. Dockmaster Nanash. The dockmaster of Laskara is working his trade, directing the workers and making notes about the shipments. Sometimes he breaks up a fight among drunken sailors. His expensive, fancy-studded armor and rapier aren't much of fighting, but the sailors aren't hard to handle. When he sees you, however, all other business is set aside. He runs up and bows. I heard that you arrived, Prince. I am Dockmaster Nanash. Honor to meet you. Honor to meet you. All of the wealth of the road passes through this port, and it's all thanks to Haven. What does the Dockmaster do? Keep order. Keep the goods flowing. Make sure nothing gets smuggled. Collect customs and duties, and send the right message. I give civilized greetings to visitors to show that the Rokaj is a proper nation. That is the gift my province gives to the Ro. Customs and duties? Everything that travels through this port has a tax on it. Gold that goes to keep the port open and safe. Keeping a place like this running isn't free. The Gentle Coast is wealthy because of this trade, and we earn it. The Gentle Coast's gift to the Ro? If it wasn't for our port and our trading and our civilization, the Rokaj would be pure, hungry, violent, and desperate. But does the Lord Daga thank us? Does the Cronus Woods acknowledge our value? Does the High Letha appreciate it? No, they mock us, call us weaklings, while we sustain them. Civilized greetings? First-time visitors to the Rokaj are scared. They think we are wild madmen swinging swords around them. When I am the first Ro they meet, they know that they are trading with honorable, courteous, civilized folk. And the raids? A temporary difficulty. We will find the raiders and stack their heads on the dock pilings. When our visitors see the skulls, they know that Rokaj will be a civilized place once more. Yeah, very civilized. Another question? Dockmaster Nanash stands and speaks with you, and the docks constantly threaten to devolve into chaos around him. Crates get pushed around, sailors bump into you. Goods are carried into and out of the trading hall to the north. I think that one we already had. Yeah. So, how are things in the Gentle Coast? Not good, as you well know. Raiders have been coming down from the highlands. Some tried to kill you. Others took over mines and forts. It's a horrible insult. They could cause war. We'll make them pay. Be sure of it. Okay. Do all of the goods of the Rokaj flow through this port? Not quite. Regular trade comes through here. Supplies to Haven's forces enter through Port Osborne. All they did. That port was taken by raiders. Now Haven's goods come through here, and it makes everything slower. There's a way some warrior could help Haven here. Help Haven? How? Go to Port Osborne and retake the captured docks from the brigands. Haven will get plenty more supplies then. More importantly, you can recover the lost contracts. Papers we can use to determine what you have paid for. If you can recover those contracts for me, I can use them to get precious supplies for you. Just a thought. Okay, this is where we are going to be sent back to the mage we weren't able to kill at the start. And where are these captured docks? East of here, along the water. I think that is where you arrived at the Rokaj. That is correct. Port Osborne was where the raiders attacked Sutter and you. Why don't you just give me the supplies? Because Haven is a land of papers, of contracts, of giving your word. I can't claim wood and stone from the clans unless I can prove you have paid for it with contracts. The contracts are still at the port? Unfortunately so. When my merchants fled here, none of them had the papers with them. None of them knew where they were. They must still be there. Where are the contracts hidden? I don't know. Unfortunately, they should be still in the port. I don't think that the raiders would want them. That's all for now. Thanks. And we got another quest. Alright. Laskaran worker. Just uncovering the whole map. And let's go into this building. Smithy. Ingrian. This woman easily stands out in the prosperous city of Laskara. Her leather jerkin is dirty and shows the signs of hard travel. Her hair is chopped unevenly and her hands are calloused. When she looks at you, she is curious, but she shows no awe. Hello, Avenite. I am Ingrian. I am a trader from the Cronus. I am waiting for a shipment to be readied. I have a moment if you want to learn. You say you are from the Cronus? The Cronus Woods, north and west, the most beautiful of the provinces of the Row. We are wrapped in our forest, and it makes us strong. Now that she's talking to you, you know that she looks over her shoulder frequently. She tries to hide her nervousness, but she can't disguise it from you. Tell me about your forest. It is a living thing, in a way that other woods are not. The whole forest is one mind speaking to us. Through our groves, we feed and protect our woods, and they shelter us. Her voice lowers to whisper. You can barely hear her. Haven has been hacking at it for years, and we have withstood it. We hope the Cronus can survive your wisdom. You seem ill at ease. I know who you are. I know that some fools try to murder you. They got what they deserved. The Cronus is strong and proud, but we are not fools. We do not want war with Haven. You're scared of war? She sits up straight. We are scared of nothing, but war brings fires. Soldiers tramp through our forest, hurting it. When the Great Uprising happened, much of our woods were burned. It took many years to repair the damage. I have another question. Ingrian sits with you and talks. She is a serious woman and lacking in trust, but her job has a lot of downtime. She is curious enough about Haven to talk to you. I think that's what we had already, right? Yeah. What brings you to the Gentle Coast? I am our clan's trader. I organize caravans. I come here, I barter, sell you our iron and amber for what we need. I also check in on our clan's claim in the Gentle Coast. Okay, so we got the next quest. What do you think of the Gentle Coast? She looks at the other traders. The wealthy locals with their finery and their mostly useless weapons. They are Rokash like us. They bring wealth. They keep the outsiders happy. I see no reason to hate them. Her words seem peaceful, but her eyes are cold. She has no love for them. You seem underdressed for the city. Yes, my clothes are simple and crude. The Cronus Woods are full of simple folk, not like the enlightened, beautiful folk of the coast. We should feel lucky to have them to guide us and show us our flaws. I have another question. Have the recent raids caused you any trouble? She looks away and thinks on this. When she speaks again, her voice is soft. They have. I shouldn't be dealing with Heavenites, especially ones of your rank, but I'm a trader, and we have needs. When the raid started, we lost our mine. We have a claim in the Gentle Coast, and it was taken. Tell me about your mine. The woods of the Cronus are angry. They have been cut and burnt too much, and they act out. They attack us. The infection has spread to our lone claim in the Gentle Coast. The Rokaj will not help us, not in a time of raids and possible war. But you might. Haven has the strength to restore our mine to us. Where can I find this mine? It is north of Laskara and a little west, dug deep into the mountains of the northwest. And why should I be interested in this? Because if you restore our mine, we will give you a portion of its iron and other products. We know Haven needs to rebuild. We can help you if you help us. If you accept this deal, go to the mine. The Cronus there will tell you more about what is happening. Alright, thanks for now. New quest. Alright. And there we might get a new... No, this is just a crafter, maybe a shorter dialogue. This elderly man is native Ro, but he is wealthy and fancy. He wears fur garb and a sword at his belt, but they are all stylish, expensive, and completely unaffected by any sort of combat. He smiles and bows deeply. Welcome, Prince of Haven. I am so honored by your visit. I am crafter Löre, or something like that. Trader of luxury goods. It is always a delight to be visited by envoys from civilized lands. I would like to trade with you. Of course, alas, I tend to deal with raw materials in bulk. Still, we have a few finished objects that might be of value in your journey. Let me see your wares. Okay. Cronus bow. Rose side. Oh, there's cool graphics, and some of them are probably new to this game. I'm going to sell some of the stuff I have. Ah, no, can't do that here. Okay. I don't need anything else. Of course, I'm honored by your attention. What sort of things do you usually trade? The Rokage makes raw materials and few crafts that are much in demand in the more civilized lands of Haven. They are produced in the Savage Highlands, brought to our port and sent out to the world. What do the islands produce? Well, they are the mundane things, meat and stone and wood. Some of it is of high enough quality to deserve space on a ship. We also trade precious ancient amber, quicksilver and crystals, unique varieties of wood, all highly in demand from mages and craftsfolk throughout our empire. What do you get in return? The Rokage is hungry for raw materials and weaken a new knowledge from all over our empire. We seek out precious metals, book of magical knowledge, and other things we have difficulty providing for ourselves. Another question. You called the row of the Highlands savage. I'm afraid it is not my place to discuss politics, especially with the prince. He nervously wipes a spot off his leather vest. You can see that it has plates of metal set into it. We are deeply ashamed that row raiders attacked you, but we small folk do need to be careful what we say. You like being a vassal of heaven? Of course, you bring us life of safety and prosperity, and the gentle ghost we don't spend all our time hacking at each other, settling duels and scraping for survival. Nice armor. Oh, thank you. It is a recent fashion. Wearing armor like this is a way we of the Rokage keep in touch with our roots. You note that the metal plates are very thin, light and convenient, but utterly useless in battle. Why do you have to be careful with what you say? Well, the gentle coast is not immune to all of the savagery of the Rokage. There are some backward souls who want to be free of Haven's influence. They have been known to send Geld Nass killers in the night. These are the sorts of savages who send raiders down into the gentle coast. Recently I lost 2 caravans, 2 murderers and thieves. You lost some caravans? Oh, okay, I see there's a new quest coming. 2 of them, one going north, one going east. They vanished, no signs to where they are lost or who took them. I offered a bounty to anyone who could find them and the brave folk who escorted them. No takers yet. It's too dangerous at the time. Where were they lost? One went east. Scavengers had recovered some nice items from the Erudico ruins there. The caravan was going to pick those up. One went north. It was going to the Cronus Woods to pick up some artisanal grade lumber. It never entered the woods. How might one know that the caravan was yours? Each of our wagons has a quarter moon painted on the side. It is the symbol of my clan. I only say this to make conversation. I would never ask a prince of Haven to notice my small affairs. He generally seems to mean this. Alright, that's all for now, thanks. And we got, indeed, a new quest. Alright. And that's... Oh no, there's more in this shop. Lock. And you don't have the key. Okay. Maybe One of them will open the door if we do the quest for them. Okay. This is the north end of the city. Not yours, okay. This seems to be the main hall. Haven Hall. Oh. Melvin, you meet a young man, barely an adult. He looks small and nervous in the expensive ceremonial armor and weaponry of the Gentle Coast. He gives you a brief, twitchy bow when you approach. Hello, Prince Kordanor. I am Melvin. What do you do here? I am an assistant to Raza Elha. I do what I can to help, fetch things, watch, listen. My father wants me to try to be Raza someday, to keep the position in the clan, so I am here. He doesn't seem particularly ambitious. Tell me about Raza Elha. Oh, she is from our clan. She is a great leader and she knows a lot of magic, though she doesn't show it off. She is a real warrior. There aren't many of those in the Gentle Coasts. There doesn't need to be, though, not when we have Haven. You are a wealthy clan. Yes, wealthy and influential. One of the best in the Gentle Coast. Raza Elha says it is because of Haven. Their influence changes us, civilizes us, makes us wealthy, she says. And this is why we have so much power. What do you think of Haven? I have met very few Havenites. You don't send many envoys here. Haven't for a long time, but you do bring us trade. Lots of money, lots of precious goods. I see them all come in. Haven brings us a lot of things. He is growing uncomfortable. Talking to a prince does that to a lot of people. I have another question. Melvin says, is there anything else I can help you with, honored guest? What do you do here? I'm an assistant to Rayam. I do what I can to fetch. Okay, we had that. Tell me about now. Yeah, okay. I have another. Tell me about Razaela. I'll be going now. Okay. Thank you for your honor on your visit. Alright. You approach the hall of Raza of the Gentle Coast. Here you will meet a leader of the Rokaj. You've never taken part in diplomacy like this on your own. You sense, well, we actually did in the previous game, right? You sense for a moment all of the lives that depend on the decisions you make or don't make. And then the royal symbol of the Prince of Haven appears on your shoulder. Placed there by your mother's magic. It will appear there's no matter what you wear. If you strip naked, it will be a tattoo on your skin. When on official business, your mother insists that the mark of your identity be visible wherever you go. It can be incredibly irritating. Yeah. Okay. So there are two buildings. Yeah, these are the last two buildings. So let's visit them. This is the one which we need to enter for the quest, and maybe we also get enough experience to get to the next level. You enter the hall of Raza Elha, the leader of the Gentle Coast. Like the rest of Laskara, this chamber is a tasteful mix of Rokaj savagery and a cosmopolitan elegance. The clan leaders of the row meet here and sit on rough wood stools in a circle, sharing meat grilled over an open fire according to tradition. But the wine is imported and expensive, and the decorations are stylish and tasteful, if outdated. The Raza of the Gentle Coast is clad in finely cut furs, and a curved blade hangs at her side. Yet this portly, middle-aged woman has not seen battle for a long time. Gold jewelry gleams on her fingers and around her neck. Raza Elha notes the royal insignia on your shoulder. She slowly rises to meet you. Prince Kordanor, this is a great honor. Please come and join me in a meal. I am Raza Elha, and our city is at your disposal. Alright, let's first have a look around. You are the diplomat. Yeah, I am, and I have to check out your box. No, there's nothing in there, but there's something to read. One is a mountain. The most important principle for understanding the Rokaj is that every person there sees his or her soul as a mountain. It has 3 elevations: the gentle base, the busy slopes, and the remote and untouchable peak. The base of the mountain is knowing. These gentle lands are where knowledge is stored. It is the most accessible level of the Rose Mines, where different ideas and principles are exchanged with others. The slopes of the mountain are where working takes place. This is where the Row plan their lives: hunting, building, crafting, fighting, raiding families, expanding. Working is influenced by knowing and deep truth, but it only cares about safety and survival. The peak of the mountain is deep truth, where a Row keeps deeply held principles. This is the most remote part of the mind. The deep truth is kept hidden from invaders and oppressors. Haven can force a Row to say its truth, but the deep truth remains safely hidden within, forever untouched. If you say so. Alright, there's 2 more doors. And, okay. Treaty of Vassalage between Haven and the Rokaj, year 341. There is outlined the vassalage contract between the mighty Empire of Haven and the humble Rokaj, between King Sava of Haven and Raza Gorinan of the High Litha, speaking for her land. Haven declares that the Rokaj is a full vassal with all protections included. An attack on the Rokaj is an attack on us. Thieves and raiders in the Rokaj are an offensive to Haven and will be removed. Full trade between our powers is guaranteed. In return, the Rokaj grants Haven full movement in their territories and full consultation on any political matters. Land or for 7 forts will be provided for Haven, and the Row will protect the security of these lands. All crimes committed by Havenites will be judged by Havenites. Crimes on the Rokaj will be judged by Haven if Haven expresses a wish for this in a reasonable amount of time. This agreement will last as long as Haven and the Rokaj exist as independent peoples, so agreed in sacred bond by both parties in the year 341. Okay, what time it is it? Okay, this is quite a while ago actually. So it's not even our father who did this deal. Raza Elha. Alright, I think this is also a new picture. Raza Elha motions for you to join her on the stools. Armed servants come in to serve you tea, grilled meat and vegetables, and whatever other beverages you desire. Before business, she insists on showing you their humble hospitality. Finally, she sets aside a plate and cup, belches, and says, "Thank you for your patience with Row hospitality, honored prince. We can engage in proper ceremony now. She rises and bows. "I am Raza Elha, honored leader of the General Coast, and I welcome the Prince of Haven to its loyal vassal." What is Raza? It is like a king, a lord. We are the leaders of the 4 provinces of the Row, chosen by a long process of arguments and duels. I am Prince Kordanor of Haven. I greet you in the name of the Empire of Haven. Hi, I'm Kordanor. I'm Prince. She nods approvingly. You have a bit of a reputation as a rogue, but that was well spoken. She sits again. And now, at last, we can come to business. We have a lot of it, I'm afraid. I have been sent on a diplomatic mission by the Queen. Raza Elha nods. She clearly had already heard about this. A full diplomatic mission from Haven. It has been a long time since we had such attention. Very long. The leader of the Gentle Coast is a matronly figure. It's hard to imagine how she became the ruler of a warrior land, even in a tame place like Laskara. Then, when she finds her tea too cold, she waves her fingers over it, and in a moment it is steaming again. Her raw power doesn't come from her blade. These things have a traditional process, of course. Things that must be done. I imagine your general in Fort Meadow 4 was provided by the Queen to guide you. You seem to know all that is about to happen. Raza Elha gives a little shrug, sips some tea, and belches slightly. The backward provinces of the road don't care for these diplomatic formalities. Only the more civilized people of the Gentle Coast recognize their importance. So, what happens now? Now, customarily, you ask me, as Raza, if I have any petitions for your masters in Haven. Or in other words, is anything wrong? Are there any problems that we can't fix on our own? Do we need your help? To which I say officially, the Gentle Coast has no petitions. For Haven, none at all. Really? No demands? You seem happy to be our vassal. I hope the other Razas are as cooperative. Really? No demands? None at all. The Rokaj has tried to make itself a problem for Haven. The Gentle Coast will not be a part of that problem. This concludes the petitions. You may report our cooperation to General Miranda. Haven needs to know who is on your side. What else do we need to discuss? Well, there is one small traditional formality. After the Great Uprising, Haven agreed that it would not send a major force up the pilgrimage road into the mountains without asking permission from the Raza of the Gentle Coast, me. Just a formality, mind you. How do I request permission? Just ask, it is always given. Why do I need to request permission? Tradition, mostly. It was part of a treaty signed a century ago. Also, it shows respect. We of the Gentle Coast value Haven, without question. For the wilder lands of the Rokaj, well, respect is important. I am a Prince of Haven. I don't request permission. I will travel wherever I want. I request permission as Prince of Haven to travel through the Rokaj. Razaella smiles. I'm honored by the request. I formally declare that you have permission to travel the pilgrimage road. I think that is everything then. The pilgrimage road? It is the main north-south road through our land. It starts north of Laskara and is marked by huge pairs of standing stones erected by the Low Dargans in centuries past. It leads to the Cronus Woods, then the Low Darga, and finally the High Letha. And finally, I wish to give you a humble bit of tribute, as expected for a visitor of such importance. What sort of tribute? We are a trading port, and we gather a lot of wealth as such. We will have building materials directed to your forts, wood and stone, to help you rebuild your defenses. And finally, please consult our library. She points to the door to the northeast. The Rokaj has its own researchers and its own arts of war. We hope you will learn some valuable skills while you are here. And that concludes the stuffy formalities. I am sure that there is much you want to know. I don't think that we will come to anything else but talking in this episode. I'd like to know more about the Gentle Coast. Of course, we are one of the 4 provinces of Rokaj, the lowest one on the coast. We are the safest province, the wealthiest because of our ingenuity and hard work. Because of our prosperity, we are the envy of the other provinces. They are painfully jealous of us. What resources do you produce? Well, some food, some wood, not much. In terms of raw materials, we produce trade. We produce knowledge. The other provinces dig up iron or chipstone. Menial work. We control the ports, so we are the ones who turn it into wealth. This is the safest province? Of course, we have risen above the constant savagery and raids and clan warfare that plague the highlands. We will be seen as civilized people in the eyes of the outside world. The other provinces envy you? Of course they do. We are safer, more civilized and wealthier. In turn, they cling to their backward ways. They constantly whine about us. They say we are not true to the ways of the row. False. Every row has a mountain within. Us as much as all of them. Every row is a mountain? That is what we believe. Inside me, inside all of us, is gentle knowing, working, and deep truth. The balance of the 3 makes a row. As you travel, you should read our writings. Look around this hall. There are some books you might find illuminating. Are you true to the ways of the Rokaj? She sits up extra straight. I'm absolutely true. There are moments where I fear I am the truest row. It is a great burden, I will carry it. What faults have they found with you? They think we are decadent. We don't fight enough. We don't waste enough of our time in squabbles and duels of honor and raiding. They don't see that their old world is past and Haven brings new, better way. Tell me about the other provinces. They are the Cronus Woods, the Lodaga, and the High Letha. You will have to visit all of them for a full diplomatic tour, I'm afraid. All of them have rebelled against Haven in the past. All pretend to be calm for now. Tell me about the Cronus Woods. A heavily forested region to the north and west. An enchanted land. Their forest has natural magic in it, so they worship it, of course, in their backward way. A good source of wood, precious amber, and the products of their iron mines. Tell me about the Lodaga. The rocky hills to the northeast, builders, stoneworkers, clannish brutes warped by the dry, rocky lands they inhabit. A lot of the raiders who attacked you were from there. It is their way. Tell me about the High Letha. Our highest peak, our hardest people. It is a remote land, lightly populated. It is also land of ghosts. The Lethans drink the quicksilver they mine to speak with their spirits, sort of a mad place. They see themselves as the judges of the Rokai, the keepers of our true spirit. They look down on us, literally and metaphorically. I have another question. Razaella sits and speaks with you. Tea and tidbits to eat are brought constantly. In this chaotic time, she's very busy, but she makes it clear that you can have as much of a time as you wish. Tell me about the Razas. We are the 4 leaders of our 4 provinces. Don't think of us as kings and queens, though. We don't have that much power. The Rokaj is a land of clans, fighting and joining and fighting again, an ancient impossible tangle. Our main jobs are dealing with outsiders, settling the more difficult disputes between clans, and being moral leaders. We keep the deep truth when life makes it easy to forget it. How did you become Raza? You know, it is a process. The clans put forward their candidates. There is a long period of negotiation and argument. Occasionally, the Geld Nas is paid to rid us of a troublesome applicant. Finally, the clan leaders ascend to Prova Krug to have a final argument and select the new Raza. Geld Nas is paid to rid of... Okay. Interesting. Tell me about the clans. Some are tiny families, some are clumps of dozens of people. Some clans, like mine, are huge, sprawling affairs with hundreds of family members and histories that go back centuries. Other Razas? I would rather not say I do not like them. They do not like me. I could not give you an honest account. You will meet them soon enough if you carry out your mission. You mentioned deep truth? Ah, yes, the deep truth is what any road truly believes. When outsiders invade us, we store the true ways of our people in our hearts. We can say whatever we need to say to survive as long as our deep truth is held within. So the Rokaj will always lie to me? No, not always. When doing business, we speak plain. However, when talking to a Heavenite, we may tend to say what you want to hear. Our true beliefs need to be a private thing. And what is your deep truth? Raza Elha smiled. So, I am but kidding. The deep truth is a practice of the barbaric highlands. We of the Gentle Coast have been civilized by trade and commerce with the outside world. We don't need such elaborate mental games. You don't need a deep truth? No, we have proper wealth and security. Hiding one deep truth is a game for the weak. Down here, we are proud members of the Empire of Haven. We don't need to hide anything. But if you had a secret deep truth, isn't that what you would say to conceal it? Raza Elha is startled, but only for a moment. Then she laughs. You learn fast, Prince. I think you have nothing to worry about when you talk to the other Razas. Anything else? That is all I need. Ah, I need to talk about my mission. Yes, a full diplomatic mission. You must interact with both your vassal and the Heavenites who control it. You must evaluate your 3 governors to see if they are competent. You must make sure the Razas have no pressing petitions. That's all I need. Or maybe there's something else. Okay. That's all I need. Raza Elha rises. Then I wish you the best of journeys. It is good that you are here. Good that this mission is taking place in the end. Prince, you may save us foolish row from ourselves. Some resources. I wanted some experience, but apparently we need to go back to Miranda first. Also, we still need to talk to this guy. Haven Hall. Haven Soldier. You enter the Haven Hall. It only makes sense that Haven would have a large embassy in this town. The place is a bit of a jumble. It has to serve as a site for diplomatic missions, a military headquarters, and an inn for travelers from outside the row. Right now it is eerily quiet. Since you were attacked, merchants have been clearing out, spies have gone off to spy, and soldiers have been returning to the field to prepare for battle. You hear shouting coming from upstairs. That is where the activity is. The Gentle Coast. The Gentle Coast contains the southern lowlands of the Rokaj. It is the region with the warmest climate and smoothest terrain. All of the best farmland in the row is here, so are all the ports. All trade and knowledge that the row shares in comes through the ports here. Understandably, the Gentle Coast is the most prosperous, peaceful region of the Rokaj. It is also the area that is most in favor of the row being a vassal state of Haven. Very few of the row finest warriors come from the Gentle Coast. It is a land of merchants, sages and farmers that has led to some mistrust between this placid region and the higher, harsher lands. Some of the hard folk of the inner row think that the coast folk are weak, unprincipled and untrue to the values of their land. Some of the people of the Gentle Coast think that the inner folk are crude, ignorant and should submit to the will of their betters. Alright. Music by Kevin MacLeod and Competech, by the way, external music, not from the game. Haven Soldier, let's go upstairs. The Raza General Angach. Okay, before we talked. You emerge upstairs into a large meeting hall. Soldiers are everywhere. Maps and plans are being consulted. The 7th Army is camped to the south and your general is here, making plans. The row attempted to kill 2 of Queen Sharon's children. There's going to be a spectacular response. What form that response takes depends on your actions. When the general sees you, he waves. Welcome, Prince. I would beg a moment of your time. He sits at his desk in the northeast corner as soldiers scurry off in all directions to prepare. A guide to the resources of the Rokaj. To build up forts in the Rokaj, you will need to wood, stone, iron and quicksilver. Wood can be found in the southern regions of this mountainous land. To get iron, to the west of the woods of the Cronus forests. It is mined from the hills there. To get stone, go east to the hills, to the Low Darga. To get quicksilver, that the most precious and unpredictable of substances, you must ascend to the city hostile, icy hostile High Letha. Alright. We can't go in there. But we get some silver coins from there. Alright. Alright, let's talk to the general then. And then next time we can finally leave the city and do some more combat. And I think this is also a new picture. New picture as in hasn't been used in any other Spiderweb game before. The general of the 7th Army of Haven rises to greet you. He is exactly what you would expect for a general in the Rokaj. Tall, aging, grizzled. Scarred, the veteran of many wars. In a land like the Row with a history of rebellion, this is the sort of man you want. He bows to you and says, Welcome, Prince. I am General Angach. I command our troops to the south. I assure you that we are ready for whatever comes. And please, let me give you my deepest apology. You better apologize. He bows his head. The soldiers get very quiet. We allowed the raids to form, and we allowed them to threaten you. It was an unforgivable mistake, and it won't happen again. Your apology is not accepted. You need to fix the problem. You are stripped of your rank immediately. For this failure, you are to be taken out and flogged. Your apology is not accepted. You need to fix the problem. Of course, Prince. We are eager to deal some harsh discipline to the Rokaj. However, the Queen has instructed us to give you time to do your work. When it is time, we will be ready to strike. We'll make them pay. That's not what I meant, but I'd like to discuss the Rokaj. Of course, I imagine you didn't plan to spend much time in this land of scoundrels. The Gentle Coast is nice. They've bought their share of luxuries. It's when you get up into the highlands, the hills and mountains that you have to be paranoid. You don't sound fond of them. Angach thinks about this. I've been here for 10 years and I don't know if I like them or not. They are strong, they are brave. The row of the highlands can withstand anything. They are cheery and generous. I am just never sure when they are about to slit my throat. Tell me about the Gentle Coast. It's the row's name for it, and I think they mean it as an insult. The coast is rich. It's made the people here soft. The row of the highlands hate them for it, but Haven protects them. Don't worry about this province. We are in control here. Are you always paranoid? Of course. You always have to be with the Rokaj. After all, a century ago, everything seemed fine, calm and peaceful. Then the disaster happened. What disaster? The Great Uprising overnight. The row were slaughtering us in our beds. Haven put the rebellion down, of course, but it was a bloody affair. That's why we don't let their cities have proper walls anymore. Don't ever be complacent around the row, and don't worry, we're ready to fight. I have another question. General Angach continues to give you as much of his attention as he can spare. He is constantly receiving messages from the field and barking out orders in return. The raiders caught Haven by surprise. He is determined to not let it happen again. I'd like to discuss the tell me about the Raza. I only ever deal with Raza Elha. She is the sharp one. She is loyal to Haven and she is a powerful mage. She controls the Gentle Coast well. I wish all the Razas were like her. The rest of the Rokages hate her. Raza Elha is hated. She is loyal to Haven. She believes the Rokages helped by being a vassal. Much of the rest of the row sees us as conquerors, and Raza Elha is the lead collaborator. Another question. What is the word from Haven? We have our orders from the Queen. You are to follow orders and to do diplomacy. Meanwhile, we prepare for war. Oh, okay. How are you preparing? Training, maintaining our gear, scouting, reviewing histories of the Great Uprising. The row of the mountains think that they are better than Haven. When the time comes, we will show them the true power that Haven can unleash. Do you think Haven can beat the Rokaj in battle? Before Angach can speak, your soldiers raise their arms and let out a wild, angry cheer. The general grins. It will be hard and bloody, but they can't win against us. The only question is how much slaughter there will be. Okay, how can war be prevented? By convincing the Rokaj to lay down their arms, make amends to the raids, and obey the treaty they signed with us. They have to submit. Now that they dared to raise arms against Prince Sutter and you, there is no other way. The Rokaj tried to kill me. They should be strongly punished. What can I do to prevent war? Honestly, I don't know. You will have to do your diplomacy and talk to them. Maybe you can find a way. I wish you luck. We don't want to put this place to the torch, but we will if the Queen gives the order. I like to discuss... we had that already. Okay. That's all now, thanks. And I think we need to get back Cronus Woods governor. Okay, there was not anything actually. Or was it? No. Fort's restoration, knowledge of the road, Gentle Coast petition. Gentle Coast petition? Petition of the Raza of the Gentle Coast. Yeah, okay. The fort's restoration, knowledge... Okay. So for the rest, we need to go back first. There's actually one claim which we can get first before we go back. Okay, so this will be the plan for the next time then, and so the next time we will have a bit more combat then, a bit more than nothing at least. So yeah, please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more and some more action content. And with that, thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.